Okay, well, hi, my name's Kellie Asante. I'm currently a journalism student at Seneca. This is my first entry for the COVID or pandemic journal, COVID pandemic journal. Um, so today is July 6th, 2021. This was hard for me to get myself to do today, so I kind of have little Kim in the back over there, kind of like if I can embody that level of courage and determination and focus, I'll be happy. Side note: that picture is brought to us by Aaron J. Thornton from WireImage.com. So today has been a bit rough for me. Um, I wasn't feeling well today. I wasn't feeling totally up to doing much today. Definitely, I can see almost the effects of like post pandemic. It's almost like post pandemic blues. I know we're not out of the pandemic yet, um, but just the thoughts around getting back to regular life, getting back to a new normal, what that means for me in regards to just meeting people that I haven't met yet, even in my program, even in regards to like my look, how will people perceive me, all of that has been playing with me. And I found an article that was speaking, not was, is speaking about some spending habits, like they're actually seeing in the States, and this is brought to you by NBC News. They're seeing that people are spending money post quarantine on retail, specifically a lot to do with I'll say their upkeep, their look. The title of this article that I'm reading off of is actually quite funny. Um, Post quarantine retail therapy, teeth whitener, wigs, and camping gear. I would say I fall within more so the teeth whitening area and wigs area. Side note: I actually bought I'll say my first high purchase or higher caliber wig. Yeah, they said according to a new report from MasterCard, toupee and wig store sales have increased by 75% over the period of May 2020 to 2021 compared to February 2019 to February 2020. I am curious about how they got that data and how they were able to specifically pinpoint that it was wigs and toupees, because I'm thinking about beauty supply stores in my area or I would say department stores that are specifically geared towards hair care and maintenance. I don't know if it just shows up on the receipt as wigs and MasterCard just logs it in as like, yep, wig. Seeing that some of the spending patterns of Americans kind of coincides with what I actually think my first trips when I've yet to really go outside, but like my first trips are gonna be more so geared towards getting myself together, self care, grooming, as well as grooming my dog Daisy. She needs it. It's been a while. Like I've been doing pretty good. My sister, my family in general, I'd say we've been doing pretty good. But the last, I'll say 2 weeks or so has been rough. She has started rolling on I call them phantom shits, pardon my French, because you don't see the poo, but she smells like she smells a little bit like poo when she's done rolling. So My sister, she twisted my hair for the first time in her life. I didn't know that she had the capacity, not capacity, I didn't know she had the skill set to do this. So now I don't have to do it on myself. And mind you, my hair, I've been growing my hair over the pandemic. So, like, just at the beginning of the pandemic, my hair, I had like a low cut, low fade Caesar kind of cut. You could just Google that, or I guess I could include a photo. No, Google it. Low cut fading, low cut Caesar. That's what I had. So my hair is grown. I'm probably around like 3 inches now in terms of length. And yeah, that yeah. When I say since COVID, let me be more specific. Actually, I cut my hair December 2020. So I've just been growing my hair since December 2020. I've actually grown out my hair, cut it off, grown it out, styled it, like done a pixie cut style thing um, since the onset of the pandemic. So, which was 2019, March, right? March, I think. Yeah. So a lot has happened with my hair since COVID began. Yep. Hmm. Okay. Well, that has been the first podcast slash vlogcast, and I'll be doing something tomorrow. It might be a vlogcast, it might just be a podcast. It will include two forms at least, like two forms at least when it comes to media. You know, it is supposed to be multimedia. So I will be doing that. It will be multimedia, but I don't know if it'll be this setup again. But this was actually quite fun and quite um I don't want to use the word therapeutic. I won't go that far, but I would say it was a great it was a good release. It was a good release. So thank you. Good night. Take care of yourself. Drink some chamomile tea or something. And I'll see you tomorrow. This is Kellie Asante's journal entry for July 7th, 2021. Hello, good evening. Today was kind of similar to yesterday in terms of not feeling too not feeling too motivated, at least not to the levels that I find to be my norm. But I showed up, so I'm happy with that. Um, so let's go into what I saw in today's news that caught my eye, specifically around COVID. Because to be honest with you, I do follow COVID related news because I have to. I do think that's part of me being a responsible citizen. But sometimes I really do look for news that will help to aid in boosting my mood as opposed as opposed as opposed to the latter. But what I did find, they said Ontario sees no COVID-19 deaths for the first time in 9 months, which is a wonderful piece of news to receive. They said the last day the province saw no COVID-related deaths was actually October 14th, 2020. So that's pretty far back. For instance, province-wide test positivity rate at 0.9%, active cases at 1,841, the fewest since September 2020. In regards to vaccinations, we are at over 200,000 vaccinations, from what I understand. And public health has now administered more than 16 million doses of vaccine since the immunization campaign began last December, which is awesome. They said it's too early to see um, how loosening restrictions will appear in regards to like the aggregated COVID data, right? So we'll just have to watch and see for that to see. But that is great news. That definitely brings more of a cheer. Not, I wouldn't say a cheer, just excitement that we're moving forward and that things will be, hopefully, things will be different. And just like the restrictions lifting, that there will be a sign of that it's a sign that a new normal is on its way. But I also saw on Toronto Star, sorry, just to let you know, the article that I was reading off of was from CBC News. The second article that kind of caught my attention is from Toronto Star. They're talking about homeowners using social media to rent out pools and backyard for special events. I wasn't surprised about this per se, because I do know that there's Airbnb and other kinds of property rental apps and stuff like that. But I guess what gave me a bit of a chuckle was the idea of people renting out a pool. There's an app, there's an online booking app called Swimply that is particularly for people with private pools that they can rent it out per hour. And I was just picturing people renting out a pool to swim for an hour at like $40 to $100 an hour, and speaking to like the level of, to me at least, on like a level of desperation almost, to level of desperation to experience kind of like what life was like before the pandemic. Um, and also, I was just thinking about on the business side, um, people being able to earn an income on their property during a difficult time. And I thought that was kind of cool. They did say that this particular app that I'm talking about, uh, it really came to fruition a lot faster. Just honestly, it was a pandemic business. It was a business that the pandemic actually pushed forward. So it really also speaks to the pros and cons of the pandemic when it came to business. So yeah, I thought those two articles were interesting. Again, the second one speaking more to the side of me wanting to, like, I look to see, I look for examples of people doing their best with what they have, because it also reminds me to do the same. So that's the end of my, I guess, diary or journal. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. Drink some chamomile tea if you need to, or take some melatonin or something. Good night. It is July 8th, 2021, and this is my third journal entry. I'm going to entitle it Tired, Volume 1. You might be able to even hear it from my voice. It's a bit raspy right now. Today has been long because my sleep was too short. I slept for about 3 hours, woke up, went to classes, and I wasn't able to retain as much as I usually could retain, so I'm just gonna have to make it up. I'm gonna have to make up for the bits that I didn't retain. What happened, honestly, I just got stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole, looking up weight loss stuff, looking up how different people have done it, because I've been feeling a bit self-conscious. Not a bit, a lot self-conscious. I believe I mentioned that in my last diary post. And also anxiety. When it comes, I find that when I'm feeling anxious, I tend to turn it inward as to looking at how can I fix myself. I was reading through articles today and I found an article on Healthline talking about chocolate may actually help with appetite, appetite regulation as well as sleep regulation. And I thought that might be the 2-for-1 that I'm looking for. The only thing is that I'm not a big fan of chocolate, so I don't know how I'm going to integrate that. Damn it! So the record that Ontario had for 0 new cases of COVID-19 has been broken. Today, Ontario reports 210 new cases and 4 deaths. Here we go again, I guess. But it's still lower than what it was months ago, so I don't know. At this point, I'm just holding on to whatever I can hold on to provide a sense of hope. That's the end of my journal for tonight. Take your chamomile tea, melatonin, stay off of YouTube after 10:30 because it can get wild. This is my journal entry for Friday, July 9th, 2021. It's Kelly again. Hi. As you can see, I am in higher spirits today. Why? Because I had more sleep. And with more sleep comes a happier, more productive Kelly. I actually looked up a little research on that, and I found on this website for Australia's government, consultation with their Department of Health and Anxiety Recovery Center, Victoria. They say that studies show that people who are sleep deprived record increases in negative mood and decreases in positive mood. There's a difference between hearing it and actually believing it to be a thing. So I think that's the next that's my next step. Also, something that came to mind, or I've been having a solo conversation with myself about, has been what I consider to be the shallow scope of what is considered to be professional looking when it comes to broadcast journalism, and how I'm going to have a hard time with that because I really do like experimenting with my look, whether it's coloring my hair purple, piercings, as well as my heritage, cultural heritage, my background. Just in general, the clothing is brighter. The clothing is just not that neutral. So, trying to find, I was trying to find a medium, and I've been trying to find a medium honestly my whole life, and I don't think it exists. I don't think it really exists without there being an erasure of some sort on my end, with me being erased in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. And also, if you see this crown on my head, I did not know that Zoom had these kind of filters, and I thought it was kind of cool. And also, my background today is a bit more reminiscent of where I would like to be right now, but can't right now. So we're going to enjoy it in the form of a background filter. In terms of COVID news for Toronto. So on Friday, July 16th, which is exactly a week from now, we're actually going to go into the third stage of reopening. which is exciting for me at this moment in time because, like I stated in my past journal, I am looking forward to a lot of the self care things and a lot of the self care things, such as going to get my hair done or possibly getting another piercing. Stage three is where you're going to see the capacity really open up. Right now, I'm actually on the ontario.ca website. It mentions over here personal care services with capacity limited to ensure social distancing. So I might actually also go to a spa. It's been a while since I've been to a spa, just to unwind and kind of feel like the background that you're seeing is a part of my life for real, you know? On a more personal note, regarding my health, uh, I've been I've been on the wait list um, for a program for the past 2 years, and I finally got a seat or admission, I guess we should call it, and I'm excited about that. I find when I have any kind of health related um, issue that's taking up a lot of my brain space, I don't really get to see the me that I know at my core really shine through. Thank you for listening and watching. This has been my fourth journal entry. And again, good night. Go and drink some chamomile tea, or go lie down, go do whatever you do to unwind. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Today is Sunday, July 11th, 2021, and this is my fifth journal entry. I want to try out a new format for this journal slash podcast, like a bullet journal entry. So for a mood check, today I'm decent. I'm pretty neutral. Just did some errands, some chores today. I was thinking about what am I gonna do with my hair to relax it, i.e., chemically straighten it or not to chemically straighten it. I have like a whole pros and cons list about both, but I'm still undecided. Today I was also thinking about dating post-COVID, feeling socially awkward and worrying about how to even pursue dating after the last year and a half that we've had. And found in an article by WebMD called "Are You Ready for a Post-COVID Dating Tsunami?" There was a recent survey by Nurx, a telehealth platform, of 1,000 single women, and they found that 44% of women worried that they were out of place or out of practice with dating and sex, and 25% are still worried about catching COVID-19, which I can totally understand, because yeah, right now things are moving forward, but the variant is kicking ass. The original form of COVID-19 is still taking its toll on some people. So Erica Kaplan, who is the vice president of a matchmaking company, also says that people now know what isolation and loneliness really means, but that we won't be dating the same way. From my side of things, I also see how much human interaction plays a part in our overall mental well-being. As my day-to-day is requiring more of me, and it also requires me to be more organized. I'm thinking about like the path that I'm gonna take to do that. I think I'm gonna get a weekly planner because I do have a planner, but it's a daily one, and it's more so like task oriented, and I think I need more of like a block oriented type of planner. For instance, like where I can block out from 9 to 11 a.m. I'm doing X, and from 10 to 12 I'm doing Y. I think that might be more I think that'll be more conducive for me and also will help calm me down because I do find that when my days are better planned, I'm a lot more calm. That's the end of my journal for today. Thank you so much for listening. And you already know by this point, the chamomile tea, do what you need to do to unwind. Have a good night. Today is Tuesday. Sorry, it's actually Monday, July 12th, 2012. Hi, it's Kellie Asante. This is my journal entry, my sixth journal entry. I'm going to quickly go into a mood check. Today, I am just feeling exhausted, feeling really tired. I am in need of a longer break than what I think I got during reading week. Well, my reading week wasn't really much of a break. I think I also need a change of environment at this point. Now into the news. What is going on in regards to COVID-19 in Toronto? Well, in Canada, actually. I saw that the WHO's cautioning of mixing COVID-19 vaccines, but Canadian officials say it's all right. Uh, Dr. Sumya Sumanathan is the representative of WHO, and they are basically saying that there just isn't enough data to show that mixing vaccines will be is an okay practice to do. But the National Advisory Committee of Immunization is quick to defend Canada's approach and the health experts who suggest it, saying that all decisions are being made with people's health and safety in the forefront. When I didn't even think about this until I read the article. And for myself, I've been very specific around getting the same first and second dose. I'm going to be getting my second dose in about a week or so. That's when I'll be allowed to. I haven't thought about the amount of data behind all the different vaccines right now around how they interact with each other. But the vaccines coming out themselves, there wasn't much data behind them to back them up. So I think I've become a bit accustomed just because of COVID to taking more of a chance to see how things will work in the long run. But for myself, when it comes to if I have a chance to decide, I'm definitely going to take the same company's vaccine twice. Also, I'm excited for it's like a countdown in my head for stage 3 in Toronto for the reopening of a lot of things. I've already spoken to this around self-care. I can't wait. And that's it for today. Again, unwind, do what you need to do, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good evening. Today is Wednesday, July 14th, 2021, and this is my journal entry for today. I have these cool glasses on. Uh, I just thought, you know what, let me come in here like a bit of a badass, you know what I'm saying? Quickly into mood check. Today, I've been feeling pretty tense, slightly distressed, and this has mainly been because of the demands from projects that I have, both in school and out of school. No, let me take these glasses off for a second. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Yeah, so demands from school, demands from projects at home, or I'll say my own projects, have been stressing me out. Um, it can be difficult when you are a no name journalist or junior journalist and you're trying to get interviews with people. It's rough. But I can say, though, in regards to what my education has looked like, and my education so far has mainly been the over the pandemic. So now I have a great understanding of what it's like to learn online and a little bit of hybrid learning. I personally quite enjoy a lot of the online learning. I went to see what was out here in regards to online learning. But I found from an article by Inside Higher Education saying students actually want online learning options post pandemic. A survey from Cengage, which is an educational technology company. They surveyed over 1,400 students registered in US higher education institutions between fall 2020 to spring 2021. And they found that 73% of students agreed that they would like to take some of their courses online, like fully online in the future. And 46% of that said they strongly agreed that they would like to take some of their courses online. A smaller percentage indicated that they preferred more of a hybrid kind of situation. And I thought I thought it was really interesting because this is something that I've been thinking about myself, as I had mentioned, about what is it going to be like getting back into school, getting back into the regular routine where it's all in class. I actually have some anxiety around that. So today in my classes, we had some technical issues, but eventually that was resolved. And yeah, now it's late. I'm getting ready to unwind. I encourage you all to unwind, drink some chamomile tea, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Today is Thursday, July 15th, 2021, and this is my journal entry. Mood check. Today I'm feeling accomplished. I'm feeling tired as usual, but this is more of a physical tired. So I guess it doesn't exactly fall within mood. I am feeling, I'm feeling pretty chill. Today I actually bought CBD oil. So, and I took my first, uh, my first squeeze. I don't know if that's what that is, but I'm not euphoric. I'm not feeling really low. I'm just kind of in the middle. One thing that was bugging me today was my hair. Uh, I am trying so hard to keep my hair instead of cutting it off. I'm trying so hard to find a way to style my hair that doesn't take more than 15 minutes, gives me the result I'm looking for, and as well as isn't expensive in terms of product, because when it comes to natural hair products, it could get expensive. And I thought I found my solution. I watched a YouTube video. I watched a few YouTube videos of people doing what are called wash and goes. It's more of a style slash set of techniques where you wash your hair and then you add product, you layer on product, and then You manipulate your hair to get a certain curl pattern, or if you already have a curl pattern that you just want to enhance, that's what you do. I saw a few people that looked like they had my curl pattern or similar, and I bought the products and I put the products in my hair, and the products told on me. The products told me that my hair is not what I thought it was. Like, I don't know how to classify kinky wavy hair. I don't know where to put that, especially if I'm using the natural hair. Like, there's a natural hair scale that there's a hair typing system that people or often use as a reference. And generally, people have a mixture of different textures that occur on their heads, right? Similar to me. But I have like two main hair textures, and they're drastically different from each other, which makes styling a headache, and which also already growing out your hair, it's already unremarkable in terms of like style and what you can do with it, even when your hair gets to a point where it'd be considered long. Generally speaking, to me, it's unremarkable. It's not There isn't anything striking about it, which I find that that's what tends to grab my attention when it comes to hair. Something striking, artistic about it, possibly playing with symmetry, asymmetry, color, really showing off the person who did it, technique, like the technique behind it, the talent behind it. When it's just hair growing out of your scalp, for me, I mean, kudos to your genetics. We are one day away from stage 3, which is exciting. I think I might go to the barber shop and get my hair cut because this is ridiculous. I had mentioned in an earlier journal that I was going to use stage 3 as like my first steps into self care and taking care of how I want to look. And I was hoping to hold on to the hair that I've grown throughout this part of the pandemic, but I don't think that's happening because I need to feel confident in my look. It's not just about having your hair look presentable for me. It's about also building onto my own persona. So 1201 is exactly when stage 3 begins. I was speaking about traveling, figuring out a way to get the heck out of my house after the pandemic, or I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but you get what I'm saying. And Ford, according to CBC.ca, so Ford, he is not about that life. He does not want the passports to divide Ontario. But what can be used is the receipt printed or emailed to you after you receive your shot as proof that you've received your shot. Right now, 57% of Ontarians 12 and older have had their second dose. And again, 12:01 a.m. tonight, we get into we go to stage 3. Just the list of what's about to really open up is exciting. Social gatherings up to 100 people and up to 25 people inside. Indoor sports, rec activities at 50% capacity, maximum of 1,000 people, whichever is less, depending on the space, because they do have to maintain a certain amount of space between each other. Indoor dining, again, it has everything to do with physical distancing. Religious services, I can imagine for a lot of people, Zooming into church or their mosque is not fun. They're over it. Museums, aquariums, casinos, back to 50% capacity. Outdoor events and stuff at 70%. And cinemas. So that's the end of my journal for today. Grab yourself some chamomile tea, or if you're like me today, I bought some CBD oil and just take a little bit of that. Grab yourself some chamomile tea, and if you're like me today, I bought some CBD oil. Take some of that and go chill out, rest. Talk to you tomorrow.
Today is Friday, July 16th, 2021. This is my 9th entry. Mood check. Today I am feeling content. I'm feeling alright. A bit stressed out about school though. Some good news. Finally, I've been accepted into a program that OHIP takes care of in Ontario. I've been on the waiting list for a while, and I'm excited about that. What came to mind from this has been, why did it take 2 years? 2 years is a long time. And I was just looking for an article that speaks to possible challenges in Ontario's healthcare. And I found one on baytoday.ca. General healthcare problems in Ontario have gotten worse in the pandemic, but doctors are working to correct them. In this article, the OMA, Ontario Medical Association, they had a meeting, which is, the association is mainly Ontario healthcare workers, doctors. They said areas that they've seen gaps when it comes to healthcare in Ontario have been things such as cancer screenings, surgeries, and mental health issues, and my program falls within one of those categories. 2 years to wait for help could be life or death for many others. I know that at times it felt like I was holding on by a thread, so that does need to be taken care of. That's it for today. And you know what I always say, get your chamomile tea. Go get yourself some rest. Good night.
Today is Sunday, July 18th, 2021. It's a Sunday. Mood. Can't wait for the semester to be over. Whatever mood that is, that's the mood. I was looking at the news, of course, and I found an article from CBC citing hundreds of journalists, activists amongst firm spyware target probe finds. So, a targeted spyware company was spying on at least 189 journalists and 600 politicians. Wow. And this company is known as an infamous hacker for hire type of company out of Israel. Well, I guess this is what comes with being a journalist in the future. Well, it's not the future now, right? Anyway, that's all I gotta say. It's the middle of the day, but still drink your chamomile tea. Bye bye.
Today is Monday, July 19th, 2020. Mood check. I'm over it all. I'm tired. I am restless. I am really doing my best to use my tools to do with emotional intelligence. For one of my assignments, I am doing a story on a newly started eco village in Ontario. And prior to this eco village, I knew nothing about eco villages. So an eco village is an intentional community that lives in a way that they try their best not to have too much impact, negative impact on the environment. Also coming together with people that are more like-minded. And that has me thinking about community. An article from Moan and Doc, Ledger Transport, entitled Peterborough Orders Independent Studies for Eco Village Division. There is an eco village in Peterborough named Walden Eco Village on Garland Bay. They are looking to study their wetlands. They said it's requiring an independent hydrology and wetland study for the proposed subdivision. At that point, 25 tenants were renting. There have been multiple lawsuits, yikes, regarding permits and code divisions, and that ended up in a subsequent mass eviction of all tenants. I thought that was interesting. When planning an intentional community, there's so much that has to be taken into consideration. I would have just thought it was a matter of buying some land and starting, which to some degree it is, but it's really interesting to see how as things unfold, as time unfolds, what is important and what needs to be taken care of. I am also intrigued by people coming together to build their own community in the 21st century. That's it for me. Relax. Drink some chamomile tea. Good night. Today is Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Mood. No difference from yesterday. I'm going to go straight into what I've been thinking about. The pandemic has brought a change in my family's pace. I guess we've been hanging out a lot more. I feel that our relationship has been enriched to a degree. I'd say it was a matter of the situation with pandemic really helping to bring into perspective what's important. Also, my neighbor is drilling. Nice. But the pandemic has had adverse effects on so many other families. And I read this opinion piece on the New York Times entitled "COVID has created a scale of family loss not seen since AIDS." This is by a Dr. Culver, the University of Cape Town. From March 2020 to last April, 1 million children worldwide lost their primary caregiver due to COVID-19. In South Africa, this meant 1 in 200 children lost their primary caregiver. A team of experts, including public health organizations, came up with a medical model to aggregate these numbers. What they found is that the scale of family loss has not been seen since the AIDS epidemic in the United States, 2003. They had a President Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief known as PEPFAR, which was there to support children that had been affected by AIDS. That is so unfortunate. One, I never knew. It was to that degree. Not even to that degree. I had just never connected those dots. That's it for me for this one. I'm not signing off the same way. I'm going to be a rebel today. Have a good night.
Today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. This is my 13th entry. Mood, pretty neutral. I just can't wait to get this semester over with. But I will say something that I have experienced in this semester to a degree that I'd never experienced before has been a heightened level of compassion, like care from a school that I was from Seneca and from my teachers, as well as the students in my program. I was reading an article titled "Leading Schools in Lockdown: Compassion, Community, and Communication." This article highlights what have been some key attributes that a school school system in Australia has tied to having to teach and support their students during COVID, as well as just what has been a help when it comes to COVID. They had mentioned connection to community, leaders building deeper relationships with their community, being a voice of reason and a voice of calm during a very difficult time, crucial communication, finding ways to communicate, of course, with remote learning. These leaders meaning the teachers, the superintendents, etc., they found that being honest was really important in cultivating those kind of relationships. Care and compassion, all encompassing, important about well-being became really important during this time, and the leaders with check-ins, checking in on students, family, staff. So many of these points, they ring true for myself as well. I'm curious to see how all of this will unfold. That's it. Again, what am I about to say? Chamomile tea. Get you some chamomile tea. Have a good night. Today is Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. My mood is chill, relaxed. I had a wonderful cup of chocolate milk and I'm feeling myself. CBD update. Not the biggest fan of the CBD oil so far, but I want to give it a bit longer of a chance. Good news. There's actually a few neighborhoods in Toronto that have 0 COVID-19 cases, including some hotspots. This news is coming from CTV News. The article is entitled 31 Toronto Neighborhoods Mark 0 COVID-19 Cases, including some hotspots. This includes Scarborough Village, Morningside, Thorncliffe Park, amongst several others. But they did point out that many of the communities that are hotspots have a disproportionate amount of essential workers living there. They also found that in comparison to wealthy neighborhoods, wealthier neighborhoods basically had a head start. They got their shots before the general or lower income population. So one of those neighborhoods, Lawrence Park South, is currently has 0 new cases as well. Moving in the right direction. Get your vaccines so we can continue to move in the right direction, I guess. I don't know why this isn't a PSA. I apologize, but it kind of is, but it's not. All right, I'm bye. I'm gone. Bye. This is Friday, July 23rd, 2021. It is my 15th journal entry. My mood, I am feeling similar to yesterday, so I'm pretty chill, pretty even keeled. I'm excited I'm excited to go to Big on Bloor, see some art, and also get to know some new businesses. But before that, I'm actually thinking about getting back into the food business. Side note, I used to own a catering company. I was looking to see what people were doing out here in regards to, I was looking to see if people were starting food businesses during COVID, and I found this article on MontereyCountyWeekly.com, and it's an article entitled Autocram Bakes 110 Loaves of Sourdough Bread per week in his tiny apartment, and he is living his dream. So Autocram, early 2021, he quit his day job and went all in on Auto Bread Company, which is a cottage food business selling sourdough loaves and pretzels, and he bakes it in his 700 square foot apartment. So he started baking in 2016. When COVID hit was when he really upped his ante and started baking a lot more. And then January 2021, he quit his job and went full-time with his baking business. I'm interested in doing, I don't want to say exactly what I want to do, but I am definitely interested and more so leaning towards starting another food business. Maybe not catering this time, but I'm getting that itch again. And also this time around, I have a team to make this happen. So that's exciting. That's it for today. Leave me alone and go and drink some chamomile tea. Good night. Today is Saturday, July 24th, 2021. This is my 16th entry. My mood today, exhausted, mentally exhausted. Today I was thinking about how's COVID affecting children, the babies. And I could only imagine what that would be like for a parent to find out that your baby has COVID. My gosh. And perusing online, I found an article. Actor Kevin Connolly, his daughter, his baby daughter, caught the COVID-19 Delta variant. He and his wife, he and his partner, her name is Zule, did not contract the virus. I can only imagine what that would feel like and how, like, dealing with that, knowing that your child has the virus. And I wonder if in the near future they will be giving coronavirus shots to children and babies. Man, I just can't imagine as a parent during a time like this when so many people are passing away to find out that your not so long ago newly born baby has COVID. But they said that she is recovering, so that's good. Tomorrow I plan on going to take my photos, and I'm excited to see the art. That's it for today. Go and get you some chamomile tea or CBD oil if that works for you. Have a good night. Today is Sunday, July 25th, 2021. Mood, pissed, annoyed. I can't believe I spent that much time on the road trying to get these photos, and it all went to shit. I got a map, or I got a pamphlet, because really and truly the map for the Big on Bloor festival is not that great. And then trying to find these pieces of art, whether it's hung up in front of a store or it's a doorway that's been painted, it was hard for me to find. I found a few pieces. And then on top of that, I had random people asking me questions about what am I taking pictures of. Over it. When I got home and I saw what I had taken, I was underwhelmed. I also didn't follow instructions and took some video when everything is supposed to be photos. So I have to email my teacher, let him know. I need a little extra time. If you want to know more about Big on Bloor, maybe you will have a better chance than I did to see the art and stuff. You can go to dailyhive.com. And the cool thing about the Big on Bloor festival is the online component, which also makes it easier for people that want to ease in with COVID still out here and not wanting to be surrounded by people. They can still interact and engage with the artists and businesses on Bloor. So that's also a cool thing to do. But I'm pissed. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Take care. Today is Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. This is my 18th journal entry. Mood: exhausted, yet relieved. I just got my revised photo story assignment approved, so I can go forward with that. Hooray. I was thinking about networking and realizing a lot of what's necessary in this career path is connections, making connections with people. I'm already more on the introverted side of things, and with the pandemic, it has definitely played into that side of me. And I was just wondering, what's it going to be like networking post-COVID? I found an article that gave a few tips, and I thought that these tips I could implement into my own life. The article's from Pagoda Business Network, and the first tip is assess your comfort level. Like, are you okay with meeting people in person? Which I thought was quite compassionate to self. The second one's remember your conversations are most important. Easing back into networking. Understand that people are at different points and that reconnecting is going to just take time for some folks. They also mentioned to be flexible. And the fourth was to continue to leverage virtual connections. So like what we've been using, the Zooms, Facebook, all the different social networks that allow for us to connect with people, meet people, stay in touch with our loved ones. I'm looking forward to networking in person. I am a little bit nervous. I'm a lot bit nervous. But I am looking forward to networking in person. I think something that will be different is that the capacity, right? There won't be so many people in one space. So I think that can make it easier for me and someone like me. Well, that's it for today. Have a good night. Don't forget your chamomile tea. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2021. This is my 19th journal entry. Mood: tired. Nothing too different from other days. Ontario is committing $324 million to help hospitals expand surgical, diagnostic capacity. This is all from cbc.ca. Link will be in the description box. So Ontario's government wants to boost capacity, bring it up to 115% of pre-COVID levels to address a backlog due to the pandemic. But Tracy Johnson, Director of Health Systems Analytics at the Canadian Institute for Health Information, sees it as not just a matter of putting more money up front, but also having enough staff to make that goal happen. I am surprised because I have a lot of family members that are frontline workers, and it seems as if there are many people who graduate yearly that have the accreditation needed to work these jobs. So I would assume that there would be enough workers for this. Or is Tracy Johnson alluding to other reasons as to why hospitals and other healthcare facilities wouldn't be adequately staffed? Just curious. That's all for me today. Get you some chamomile or CBD oil. Have a good night. Today is Friday, July 30th, 2021. This is my 20th journal entry, and holy moly, today was packed. Interviews back to back, plus medical programming, plus projects upon projects. I'm on autopilot. I had mentioned before I was, but I don't know if it's I'm on autopilot or if some days I just have more energy than others. I'm leaning more towards the latter. Something else I found interesting, a lot of fast food restaurants have been coming up with chicken sandwiches, just a bunch of spicy fried chicken sandwiches. Over COVID, I don't know if the human appetite for chicken went up. It seems it did, because it's nuggets, it's sandwiches, it's fingers, all that kind of stuff. I've had a couple. I've had a couple chicken sandwiches over the pandemic. The KFC chicken sandwich, the Popeyes chicken sandwich, Wendy's chicken sandwich. There's actually a Wendy's not too far from my house, which is kind of dangerous. And I was just curious about like what have sales looked like for fast food restaurants, since more people have been at home and ordering, and what will it look like now that people are getting outside again. And I found an article on Yahoo Finance. Burger King's U.S. sales power restaurants brands results beat. I don't know what that headline means. It's kind of all over the place. But in the article, it shows that Burger King has really shown up and shown out this quarter. So Restaurant Brands International Inc. beats estimated quarterly profits on Friday as Americans spent more money on Burger King outlets since restrictions have eased. U.S. listed stock of the Toronto, Ontario-based restaurant chain rose by 4%. Some other brands are trying to compete, like Popeyes, KFC. So with Popeyes, they now have a rewards program. And McDonald's, KFC, all of them launching their own hand-breaded chicken sandwich. They said that chicken sandwiches continue to show healthy volumes in restaurants around the country, double the previous chicken sandwich, and has expanded Burger King's demographics. That is hilarious. The power of a chicken sandwich, who would have thought? And my favorite chicken sandwich is the KFC chicken sandwich. Get at me. I'm joking. No violence. Well, that's it for me. Have a good night. Some folks are making money online. First, 2021, mood accomplished. Why? Because myself and my teammate hit all the interviews out of the ballpark. That's the one I want to use. I'm just thinking about making a living online, interviewing people. And I'm just thinking, how do you do this? Not how do you do this per se. Oh, it's my dog. Sorry. But in searching, you know what I did? I found an article talking about how, yes, I saved it under New Life. because I'm not joking about this making money online stuff. Where are you? Folder. Okay. Folder. Wow, folder. That's a hard one. Folder. The article, a subsidiary of independent Indie 100. TikTok versus Instagram. Which app is easier to make a living from? I know it's not exactly what I'm in school for, but this is a great avenue to start searching and get an understanding of the internet landscape. So, during the pandemic, TikTok has grown a lot. But when it came down to it, they said when it comes down to what you can earn per followers, per engagement, it's still Instagram. Instagram is still king or queen. The number that it takes for people to start earning a decent amount in regards to sponsorships is significantly higher than with TikTok. Let me not pretend like I know what's going on I know what's going on with Instagram, but TikTok is still, I'm still side-eyeing TikTok. My 25 plus year old self, it's kind of looking, I'm like a geriatric young, so I'm kind of side-eyeing it and looking at it like, why do I need to engage with this? But I guess it would be a good idea to get to know what it's like. But anyway, they said Instagram is still the way and the light. The way and the light. So yeah, making money online, make money. We have to figure that out. Because also, I'm finding that I'm getting more and more anxious with the idea of everything opening up and going back to normal. I really do like hybrids. I really do like a hybrid of being at home and being at school. And even with doctors' visits and stuff like that, if I don't need to be in the office, not going, etc. The idea of having to be there almost 100% of the time again is exhausting. Anyway, I digress. That's it for me today. Have a good night. Today is Sunday, August 1st. We're in August. Oh my gosh. You know what that means? This semester is almost done. And you know what that means? I can finally get some rest eventually. Isn't that fantastic? Yay. So my mood. Lethargy is not a mood, right? I don't know anymore. One thing I've learned is that I need to be more organized. And when I say more organized, I mean for real. I realize I've gotten away with not having to be as organized because generally winging a good amount of things works for me, but not this time. The thing is, though, I want to be good at what I do. I want to be good at this journalism stuff. I want to get good at conversing. I want to get good at asking questions. I want to get good at assembling news pieces, eventually documentary style pieces. I want to get good. I'm realizing more and more that I need to organize. I need to really use my calendar. I really need my calendar to be up to date at all times. Also, that I have to prioritize. I also have to be fair with how I work and who I am and my own health proclivities if I was to say it that way. Because I want to be successful, you know? I could only imagine what it's been like for journalists during this time, their level of burnout during this time. Because the pandemic is draining. It's really draining. And I'm sorry about my dog. It's just about that time again that my mom gets home. My dog just knows that my mom's outside. It also has me questioning what's my capacity as a future journalist. What would make sense? Where could I fit? I won't know yet until I'm in the field, right? Yeah. Anywho, I am off. Have a good night. Chamomile tea. It's Tuesday, August 3rd. This is my 23rd journal entry. The level of sleepy, tired, I'm a bit like, I'm delirious, a little delirious that I'm experiencing right now is different. It's a new one for the books. Today, worked on one of my final projects, ENG2. Things are coming together. Can't believe it's less than 2 weeks left. But I'm ready. I'm ready to not be in virtual class and in class as well. I was thinking about my broadcasting voice, because I do not have a traditional broadcasting sounding voice, as well as my cadence is more on the slower side, and my tone is a bit flatter. It's a bit more monotone. I'm curious as to where this is gonna fit. I keep on thinking like an NPR, like a Canadian version of an NPR. I think my voice and my stories would fit there. So it is Olympic season. And one of the hopefuls, one of the people that there's been a lot of eyes on, as well as a lot of criticism for her choice to not participate in some of the events, Simone Biles, guess what? She won a bronze medal. One clap for her and one clap for the awareness that she's bringing to mental health, like the importance of caring for your mental health, to be alive at a time where we're actually taking people's mental well-being a lot more serious than we have in the past, which will in turn, I think, create more room for discussion, as well as figure out more resources, move technology down a lane that is more conducive to our mental health. Like, all of that stuff is exciting to me. There's been a shift in technology where some tech firms are actually building apps and other resources for digital healthcare services that are particularly emerging out of this time. I'm actually looking at an article on IoT World today, and they're discussing this exact conversation where 50% of executives believe at least a quarter about patient care, preventive care, long-term care, and well-being services will be done by 2040. That's a lot. That's a lot. But I only assume that so much of this had to do with COVID. We were forced into a space where we had to evolve. You know, the pressure forced us to adapt. And it's pushing technology forward in the medical field, which is so important. It can be a great time saver. It could be a great space saver. It can be a great money saver. It's awesome. It's awesome stuff. Well, that's it for me today. Today is Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. This is my 24th journal entry. In terms of mood, today I got a lot more sleep, so my mood is a lot more stabilized. I kind of find that when I'm feeling myself, I don't have a particular, I'm not particularly happy, particularly sad, particularly frustrated. I'm even keeled. But you want to know where right now is a dumpster fire? Florida and Texas. Why? Because Florida and Texas have 1/3 of U.S. COVID-19 cases in the past week. This is by CNN Health. Officials are saying that COVID right now is having a gay old time in Texas and Florida. This comes as the Delta variant is spreading, and they say that fully vaccinated, the percentage of people that are fully vaccinated in America is at about 49.7%, so almost 50%. There is a race to get people vaccinated, and hospitals currently are overwhelmed. In Austin, Texas, some ICUs right now, the capacity is reaching critical point. And they're saying that most of the patients that end up in the ICU, over 90% of the patients are unvaccinated. Yeah, if I needed any push to go and get my second shot to be fully vaccinated, that was it. That was definitely it. Which I plan to get on Friday, and expect to have a sore arm for the weekend. But it's better to have a sore arm than increase the possibility of my lungs filling up with fluid and not being able to breathe. I like being able to breathe. That's it for today. Get your chamomile tea. Yes, I'll always say get your chamomile tea. Bye. This is Friday, August 6th, 2021. This is my journal entry, I believe my 25th entry. Mood check. I am sad. I'm disappointed in the work I've been producing the last few days, but I'm also hella exhausted, so what do I expect? Realize that I really can't do all-nighters anymore without it having a drastic impact on my mood, drastic impact on how the next few days go, even a drastic impact on my on my ability to fight off
colds and stuff like that. I always had a rule of 3 days being my max, that I could push it where I didn't get enough sleep, because that's what I saw as being my pattern. After day 3, if I continue to stay up past, not my bedtime, but if I didn't get enough sleep, if I didn't get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep consecutively after 3 days, usually I'd get sick right after that. But now 2 days, sometimes even 1 day, is too much. I'm reading a Q&A with Dr. Rachel Mander on sleep disturbance, and this is on Stanford University's website. And the general question is that general increase in reports of disturbed sleep during the times of COVID. Mind you, my sleep was terrible before COVID. COVID just kind of exacerbated that, And the doctor's response to that is like 2 main contributors of potentially worsening sleep are increased stress levels and change in sleep behavior. And yes, I that is me. I am that. I am working on my sleep again. I did not know how crucial having a sleep schedule and sleep hygiene is. I didn't know to the extent that it could change not who I am at my core per se, but even that, I'm like, can it? I don't know. But that's definitely something that once this semester is done, for the next 3 weeks before the 3rd semester starts, I'll be really on that. But hey, now it's nighttime. I guess this is the time for me to start working on my sleep hygiene. Yeah. I have to actually stay up and do some work because I'm behind. But to all those that will get the chance to sleep after hearing this, unwind, drink your chamomile tea. Have a good night. Today is Saturday, August 7th, 2021. This is my 26th journal entry. Today, actually, mood check. I'm almost done one of my major assignments. Almost about to hand it in. So that's a good thing. And how that's affecting my mood. Feel like 1 down and still a good amount to go. I guess accomplished a little bit. I am exhausted as per usual. I was thinking about what has been discussed in the program that I spoke about earlier that I had been waiting to get into, and realizing I have a lot of guilt around getting what I actually need. My perception of what I need is a bit warped, and I'm realizing that now. Like in regards to accommodations, in regards to relationships with people, so many of the little things that tie together to actually make it so that life is like even the mundane stuff, like how I want to dress, how I want to put myself together, how my morning starts, if I need extra time on something, saying it. Also, I think at times it's like I'm thinking I am a past Kellie, And what I think I need is based on the past, not on the present tense, which has been an interesting revelation for me. While perusing the internet, I found an article from a website called Spiked. It was my first time ever hearing of this website, and they're speaking about Simone Biles and what they call is the problem with self-care. Mind you, this was written by two doctors. They're both senior lecturers at National University of Singapore in the Department of Psychology. So just to paraphrase from what I read, is that Simone Biles choosing, okay, so the Olympics. Simone Biles, she represents America for gymnastics. She had pulled out taking care of herself, like mental health stuff. In a nutshell, the doctors see her action as like her choosing not to be, her not showing resilience, saying that the Olympics is like, that's the stage to really show resilience and human exceptionalism. Basically, from what I am inferring from what they said in the article, from what they wrote in the article, excuse me, her decision was irresponsible. It prevented her and us, by virtue of not seeing her push through, from learning how to deal with negative emotions. One of the lines in the article is, one of the greatest rewards earned through struggle is the development of resilience. And I'm thinking about my own fears of not bringing things up. Most people will never get the chance, or will never be talented enough to get to the point where they're standing on an Olympic stage. To get to that point, I think it takes a good amount of resilience and grit to get to the point where you're standing on an Olympic stage. I'm starting to think that the issue is less about her taking time away, kind of like when Naomi Osaka, who is also an American athlete, tennis player, took time away. The rhetoric was similar. And I'm thinking, one, they're talented and they're able to make a lot of money at what they do, but they play tennis and they are gymnasts. They are not doctors. They're not saving the world in that way. They have amassed millions. They have, I can imagine, encouraged thousands of people. But this thing of like, they owe us their bodies. They owe us their minds. They owe us their health. To me, does not make it doesn't make any sense. I've never looked at athletes and thought that's what they need to give me, or that's what they owe me. And also, I also question if the people that the doctors that wrote this have ever experienced what it's like to be on the other side of sports, especially when you're considered excellent, what you have to deal with. Also, I see that it's a lot more people of color, particularly Black women, that are taking this stance. And I wonder how much racial bias is playing into this as well. And when I say racial bias, I mean the idea that you need to perform a certain way as a Black woman, that you should be grateful that you're on this stage as a Black woman. Almost like a how dare you complain about your situation, Black woman, when you rarely get that opportunity, quote unquote. And I also wonder how much of it is tied to them speaking publicly about their whys. They make it seem like, oh, this generation will not have, and I'm not part of Simone Biles' generation or Naomi Osaka's generation, but they make it seem as if that generation has a lack of resilience. And I'm just thinking, none of us grew up in, the people that tend to write about this did not grow up in the internet age. Like, I grew up on the tail end. So there's so much that I did not ever have to worry about exposing about myself or being exposed to. It's a different world. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to go back to my assignment and cry a little and then finish it and send it off. And remember to unwind and drink some chamomile tea. Have a good night. Today is Sunday, August 8th, and guess what? Your girl is fully vaccinated. Well, let's start with the mood check. Elated. Feel like a weight is off my shoulders. I think this is more of a psychological thing. It's both. It's both psychological as well as physiological. Well, yes, I am vaccinated and I feel good. I just stopped by a clinic that's not too far from my house. Today I was running errands. And luckily it was an in and out kind of process. As soon as I got in, like I was taken care of, got my shot, I was out of there within 30 minutes. So awesome. In terms of the number of Canadians that are fully vaccinated right now, healthinfobase.canada.ca reports that 59.7% of the total population that can be vaccinated is fully vaccinated, and 71.1% has received at least one dose. Hey, I feel like I have a piece of armor on, you know, even with the variant, even with certain variants being able to penetrate, get past the vaccine. I'm like, at least there's some level of protection, right? Well, it isn't nighttime, so I'm not going to tell you to go and get some chamomile tea. But, like, yeah, go and chill, you know? Go chill. Go read a book, sit with your family or something. All right. Bye-bye.
Today is Tuesday, August 10th, 2021, and it's the last vlog. We did it. We did it. We got through it. We did it. Holy moly. It has been a long ride. Having to vlog and discuss what's going on in my life, discuss what's going on in my head has been profoundly difficult and eye-opening. Come to find out that there's actually a lot more good that comes out of it than I had anticipated in the beginning. But first, let me start with my mood check. I have just finished my test for one of my classes, and that class is officially done for the semester. So that's also adding to my excitement. I'm happy about that. I did all right. In terms of what I think I'm going to get, grade wise, it's around what I first assumed it would be around, because going to school during the summer has been difficult. I've never been a fan of classes during the summer, and it is evident and it shows. But luckily, the mark won't slip by too many percentages. I am sleepy. I don't look it right now. I think. I hope not. I mean, let me just look at myself in the screen to see if I look sleepy or not. And as I had mentioned earlier, I'm fully vaccinated now. My arm was hurting for the past day, like the day I got the shot. So from Sunday till last night, it was hurting a lot. But now I'm cool. I don't feel really any kind of pain in my arm anymore. So what's next will be my third semester. And this semester, there were some hybrid classes. Well, a few classes where I went in for a class. But next semester will have more of that component throughout my schedule. Seneca has been doing a lot to get people vaccinated, even just to get their first shot by setting up clinics in regards to like returning back to school. Seneca does have mandates around the vaccine. Students and the staff being vaccinated. Actually, I found on CTB an article about should post secondary schools mandate vaccines for on campus learning. And Seneca is actually the first post secondary school in the country to set the bar on mandates. So with Seneca, the person has to have at least one dose, but there is a grace period for them to get their second dose. Early, well, last month, there was talks about having a passport, like some kind of passport tied to vaccines, but Ford definitely was not. He said he didn't want to divide the province. I guess all of this right now is trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error, and it's just going to be a matter of seeing how things go. With the colder months, uh, it might increase the amount of people that have COVID. We might go into lockdown again, but I doubt it because now my doubt is tied to the fact that we have more information about what COVID-19 actually is, even with the variants popping up around the world, around the globe. We have a better understanding and grasp as to these what the effect of these viruses can have on people. Yeah. So this is the last one. As you can see, got some decorations up here. Look, wait, this way. My last entry. What the? There, the end. There, my finger has disappeared. But it says the end over my shoulder. And a little fireworks. Yeah. Some firecrackers. Anyway, it's not nighttime. It's actually late in the afternoon. I have some studying to do as well as some editing to do. So I'm going to go and do that. And whatever is going on your side, I hope you get the chance to complete whatever tasks that you have in mind for the day to complete. And when the night falls, get some chamomile, relax, okay? Have a good day.